Hi, it's Helen from Journal with Purpose. It feels like ages since I've done a flip through of my bullet journal, but I've finished doing the videos for my 6-week planning challenge, so I thought I'd show you what I've been up to in my bullet journal. Firstly, I've got this horrendous pumpkin looking thing that I painted yesterday. It looks a bit like an orange apple to me, but it's fine, it will do for now. And here's my plans from week commencing the 22nd of August. This was during the school summer holidays, so I kept my plans really simple, really minimalist. I've added little bits of colour just so that I can easily see the different sections, but there's no illustrations. It really was just to make sure that I got down the information I needed. And my daily plans were the same. You can see they've just run into each other, again with bits of colour, but just so that each day I had a quick list of the vital things I needed to get done. And this is how I set up for September. I've got my calendar with events and appointments on this side, and then my goals that I'd really like to achieve during the month of September here. This was still the school summer holidays. I wrote down some things I wanted to do on that day, but it was so nice and sunny we just went to the beach instead. But I like to just jot things like that down, so when I look back through, I can see why perhaps I didn't get many things done on the days that I planned. And this was my weekly plans for the 29th of August. I always tend to keep my categories the same, so things for me, creative projects, home, appointment and events, and any work activities. I also write down any little bits and pieces. So this week, I don't know if any of you watched Gogglebox, but I saw Stephen Webb from Gogglebox in town, and it made me laugh, so I put that in the bullet journal. This I was tagged to do on Instagram. It was rapid fire book tag, and it was lots of questions about books, whether I prefer ebooks, physical books, trilogies or series, that sort of thing. So I just jotted those down and then shared that on Instagram. That was a fun challenge. During September, I've been taking part in the Self-Care in September challenge hosted by Back to Basics Chris. And the first week was about easing into self-care. I've really enjoyed this challenge, though I found it quite hard at times. But this is thinking about what you've done well during the week, why I'm worthy of self-care, and it's really made me stop and think. This is week 2 of the self-care challenge, and this one was about self-caring thoughts, and I had to list my talents, strengths and qualities, and I think it's so easy to focus on the things about ourselves we want to change, so I found it really nice to write down some really positive things about me. This is my plans for week commencing the 5th of September, again still quite simple at this point, just getting as many tasks down as I can, and followed by my daily tasks, just a few little illustrations and bits of colour in there. This is my plan for the original travelling bullet journal. If you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen my posts about this. Having seen the idea that somebody else had with their own journal, sending it around the world, I thought it would be a really fun project to do in the bullet journal community. I had lots of people interested, fortunately, and also Kim from Tiny Ray of Sunshine and Cara from Boho Berry have agreed to take part in the challenge. So I'm really pleased that when the bullet journal is finished, it's going to have their pages in it. I'm going to scan in the completed bullet journal and offer it as a free download on my blog, and then we're hoping to auction off the completed bullet journal for charity, so somebody can then own that final completed bullet journal. We've got a long way through it. It's now been sent out into the world, and hopefully we'll be seeing those pages pop up on Instagram very soon. This is the second part of week 2 of the self-care challenge, and this was again about self-caring thoughts, and this bit I found really interesting, kind of catching myself and the kind of things that I say to myself and then trying to replace it with a more positive statement, and also a master gratitude list, so things that make me happy. When things get busy, I just go really simple in my bullet journal. I think that's one of the best things about the system, that you can just suit it to meet your requirements. You can either put lots of illustrations or absolutely none. I think to make up for that, I then decided to have a go at some different lettering that I'd seen in some creative lettering books that I've got, and also I looked at some border designs that I really liked. Lots of those ideas I found on Pinterest, and just thought it'd be really handy to have those pages in my bullet journal. So if I'm looking for a quick bit of inspiration, I want to add a bit of colour to my pages, I can just flick back through to these and have a look. Last week I went back to one of my old ways of weekly planning because I'd actually really missed it. The only major change that I made is I reduced my trackers, because I think that's what put me off using my weekly planners in this way, because I started to get really fed up with how much I wasn't putting on there, and I was tracking far too many things. So I've made it much more simple and promised myself that I'm not going to give myself a hard time if I don't get them all done. I also went back to my daily layouts. This is really similar to how when I first started, and I like just having everything for that day on one page. I think I feel less overwhelmed if I can't see all the other days. I can just focus on that one day at a time. I also just jot down any notes. So on here I've put very long meeting, went on much longer than I expected, so there wasn't much time for other stuff, which is fine. This is week 3 of the self-care challenge, and this was looking at physical and emotional self-care. And one of the challenges that I really liked in this was listing 10 good things about my body. Again, it's really easy to focus on all the things that you want to change, but it's nice to just stop and take a minute to think about all the brilliant things that our bodies do for us. So again, simple daily plans. I made a note on Friday, wow, I'm an expert at migrating tasks. I think I improved on it even more by Saturday, but that's just how things go sometimes. So there's my plans for yesterday and today. And this is my weekly plan for this week. It's all my usual sections. I like to just put a little quote at the top, and I've shaded in the boxes for the different days that I want to try and do different housework activities, just to try and encourage me not to leave them all till the weekend. In my regular journal, I'm still doing my daily improvement journal, Where Am I Winning? These are some of my kind of regular journal pages. When I'm doing my daily improvement journal, I tend to paint the backgrounds on a Sunday, wait for that to properly dry, and then just write my headings in. So daily improvement journal, where am I winning, and what one thing will I improve next week? And then at the end of each day, no matter how hard the day might have been, I just try and find 2 or 3 things that I'm actually quite proud of. And sometimes you don't even think of them till you sit yourself down and have a think through the day. So it could just be that I'm balancing different workloads, saying no when I need to, coped well with a long difficult meeting, I'm being kinder to myself, so I just try and find a couple of things that I can think of. It tends to be the last thing I do before going to bed, and it puts me in a really good frame of mind when I go to sleep. You notice here I've stopped doing the daily journal because I'm no longer in the school holidays. Frankly, there's probably going to be less interesting things to write about, so I'm just writing down and capturing the highlights of the week. And here you can see I've put things like getting an email from Kim at Tiny Ray of Sunshine and from Cara at Boho Berry. So they were real highlights of the week. I've also just put in a few things next week I aim to, just some things I'd like to keep in mind, and a quote that I found. I did the same for last week. I've got something here that looks like a Christmas poinsettia. It wasn't supposed to, but yeah, I still enjoy doing them, even if they don't come out quite how I'd imagined. So that's the end of my journal flip through. I hope you've liked watching it. If you've got any questions, comments or feedback, please do feel free to leave them below, and I'll definitely get back to you. Thank you very much for watching.